So moving on from turnitin.com, let's talk a little bit about some of the other neat technologies we can use. And for me, in my class, before I started doing this, one of the things I really wished for was to be able to have more time with students, to do discussions, to do group work, to do case studies, to do more activities, more hands-on, more research, and to get away from the traditional lecture. And so I've started to use screencasting, which is exactly what I'm doing right here for you. I'm doing what we call a screencast. Some people call it podcasting. And so what it is really creating a lecture or a demonstration of a piece of technology like I did for turnitin.com, then editing it, all your little mess ups, and then sharing it to the world. So this is going to be a screencast within a screencast. I'm going to show you a screencast of a really neat technology. I actually did this one with my iPad. The next one will be a demonstration of one that you can do using your desktop, which is what I'm actually currently doing. So I'm using my desktop to create this screencast. So here's the one for using your iPad.
Hello, I'm going to show you how I can use screencasting in a really neat little app called Explain Everything. I'm going to be able to use this app to be able to move things around, record my voice, explain a question to students when they don't know the answer to it. And when I've done that, I'll be able to publish it to YouTube. So, the great thing about these apps is that they're very inexpensive. This really neat one called Explain Everything is a whopping $2.99. To publish to YouTube, it's a whopping cost of free. So the really nice thing about this is that if I have a student who can't understand how to do something, I can show them all sorts of different little things. I can write them notes. I can use my laser pointer and import my slides and show them different things on it. I can add shapes like this one right here. I can type text like I did here. I can import photos from my camera roll, from my camera, from Dropbox, which I'll explain later, and all sorts of other file sharing programs.
So this next screencast is an example of what I can do with students if I want to give them some feedback. So say a student is stuck on a question for homework and I create them a quick little screencast about it, or I give them some practice questions and then I want to be able to show them how to get the answer. So that's what this one's all about. Let's do a practice question. If I said Amelia has a VO2 max of 3.1 liters per minute, that means that's her maximal ability to consume oxygen. Her body mass is 65 kilograms. And I was to ask you, what is her relative VO2 max? Instead of just watching this presentation, I want you now to pause this video and try it out yourself. Once you've come up with a solution, or if you get stuck, come back to the video and the answer will be there. So in that video, what it's going to allow is students to interact with me through this video. So a little bit about why I use screencasting or vodcasting is that it makes it a lot easier for me to answer questions sent via email or Blackboard, because in my class I use my voice a lot, I write, I draw, I use pictures, and I don't type. We don't really type as much. So I can do the written as well as the visual as well as the auditory when I'm answering a question. And it can literally take me 2 minutes to do a quick little drawing or a little answer for a student's inquiry, and I'm much better at explaining it that way. What it also allows me to do is show how to use the software or web pages for an assignment. So if I want to teach my students how to use Excel to do a graph, I can quickly, both on a Mac and a PC, do a screencast for exactly what I want them to do within their assignment. If you're part of industry and you're trying to show them how to use a website in their industry, you can use it for that. I find that some students need 4, 5, 6 explanation of a challenging topic before they really get it. And what screencasting allows us to do is create that, and then it's up to the student to watch it 4, 5, 6, 20 times in order for them to get the concept. They can rewind 20 seconds, they can pause it, they can think about it, and we don't have to go quite as quickly in our class because we can create some pre-videos so that they've seen it for the first time, and then when they come to class, they're already familiar with the topic. I had one student say to me one time, she said that she'd watched my video probably at least 20 times, and she found it really helpful that she could pause and rewind and pause and rewind, and she thought she was probably responsible for about 20 views on my YouTube channel. What this also allows us to do is appeal to different learning styles so that students are not just reading the textbook or notes before class, that they're watching a quick little video. What I love most is that I can create some screencasts or some videos to free up some time in class to do other things. So they're watching their lecture before coming to class, and then coming to class and doing their homework. And this is the concept of the flipped classroom. So in class now I have more time for experiential learning, for games, for case studies, for discussions, for more feedback, one-on-one time, because we're not always lecturing. And I find one of the biggest things is that I find that students are more engaged in class. So they're not skipping class because they're getting a lecture at home. They're coming to class and feeling more prepared and are able to engage in some of the fun things we're able to do. So why I love screencasting is it allows students to understand more and allows for more time for cool stuff in class. And so really for me this equals more engaged students, which is really what we're after. And so where this concept comes from is the flipped classroom. And so the inversion is that the traditional classroom, we used to stand up on a stage, lecture to our students, and that they would go home and do their homework. And where they could really use your help is when they're doing their homework or when they're doing discussions. And so what the flipped classroom allows you is that they watch the lecture at home, do their reading, do maybe a little quiz on it, and then within the classroom we have time for experiential learning, for homework, for interaction between you and the students to be able to give them more feedback. With technology, this has really allowed us to do this. So just some feedback about my YouTube channel. Up here on the right hand side, you can see that this is my total video views for my YouTube channel. This one's only been around for a year and a half. I have 27 subscribers. I've had close to 12,000 views. And not just from our students here at Humber College and the University of Guelph Humber, but from all around the world. So here you can see, this is just a list of the top 25. There's the top 50 countries. And here's where people are watching my videos from. So my students are watching them. That's probably my students, 374 views from Canada. But what's most surprising to me is that you can see here that there's all sorts of other countries, non-English speaking countries, that are actually going and viewing my videos. And that's the wonderful thing about this technology, is it allows access to learning, to education from folks maybe who don't have access to them. In Central America, there's a huge push to get more computers into very poor areas so people can get education. And just some feedback from students from around the world who will just post on my channel and give me a thumbs up, which is quite gratifying. You know, they'll come back a year after, they love this video, this one's quite funny, I swear I owe my bachelor degree to YouTube, kind of disturbing, but funny. They say, thank you so much for this presentation, finally I understand this, the video is very helpful. There's all sorts of comments like this, probably from students I don't know, but then also my students in class will tell me how helpful they find these videos in getting a concept, that they feel more prepared, they feel that they, even if they miss a class, that they can get caught up. And just for your information, my attendance is probably as high, if not higher. So they're not skipping class because I'm creating these. If you're really interested in this concept of the flipped classroom, there's quite a few professors out there doing this. Salman Khan is a really interesting educator. He actually started off creating video tutorials for his cousins to teach them math, and has grown his Khan Academy with help from the Bill Gates Foundation to create all sorts of online videos on any number of topics. He's a phenomenal instructor, and all he uses is drawing and his voice. And so for a variety of topics, you could probably find videos. So I would encourage you to watch his TED Talk. It's really an excellent use of 20 minutes of your time. And then also check out his website to see if there's any videos that could fit within your classroom that you can assign to your students. You don't just have to be the creator of these videos. So how do we do screencasting? Well, I'm doing it right now for you. So I'm currently creating it. I'm going to do a bit of editing, and then I'm going to share it with you on YouTube. It's as simple as that. You can use the Mac platform, you can use the iPad, or you can use PC platform. So I'll go through all the different ways you can do that. So here's just a really busy slide about all the pieces of software. You can really do it for free or for a very inexpensive price. So I'm going to start off with the iPad. And so with the iPad, there's a bunch of different apps for creating. Explain Everything is my favorite, but it does cost you $2.99. But it really allows you to do some neat stuff. And then there's a few other ones. Screencasting is free. Show Me is free. When you publish through Show Me, you have to publish to their website for sharing, and when you publish through Screencasting, you have to publish through their website. Explain Everything allows you to publish all sorts of different ways and create an editable file. If you would like to be able to edit your Explain Everything, you can purchase all sorts of little apps that allow you to edit your screencast. You don't have to edit, you can go right to publishing, but for me, I like to do a little editing. And then obviously there's lots of ways of sharing. You can go to YouTube, you can go to Show Me, and there's a few other ones, screencast.com. So really simple, less than $10 to get you started with some really nice software. In terms of for your desktop, I'm currently using Camtasia for Mac, which cost me $75. And allows me to do longer screencasts. If you would like to try this out just for free at first, Jing is a really nice piece of software that allows you to screen capture for 5 minutes. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow you to edit, but you can give it a try, see if you like this. Start with Jing, and there's a few other screen capture software. So it's not just TechSmith, who's the company that's doing Camtasia and Jing. There's other software companies that are doing things like this, but this is just two of my favorite. I like to edit, and so if I'm creating screen captures, I can edit for free using either iMovie if I'm on a Mac, or there's a Windows Movie Maker, or all sorts of other suites for screen capture and editing. And then obviously if I'm using Jing, I would publish to screencast.com because you can't do it to YouTube. But I will, YouTube's my preferred source, is that's where a lot of our students are, that's where they're going, that's where you're going to capture a larger audience if that's what you're looking for. If you're just doing it for your students, you can use any of these sites and provide them. I talk about create, edit, share. You can create and then share. So for that, you don't need a lot of fancy software. The bottom line is, how do you do it? It's free to try it out with Jing or with some of the iPad pieces of software. And if you want to get a little fancy, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. Not too cost prohibitive. So you can get some really nice screencasts for under $100 if you're on a Mac, or under $200 if you're on a PC. And so what I really want to leave you with is screencasting is you don't have to be this guy, you don't have to be this big nerd to be able to do this, that I'm just a regular kind of nerdy person who's gone out and went on YouTube and figured out how to do this for myself. There's a lot of professors out there, there's a lot of really great information in terms of best practices and how to do this.